Hey guys, how's it going? Right now we're going to be taking a look at the Milwaukee M18 Searchlight. I got this thing about a month ago to replace another large battery-powered searchlight that I had, and I'll tell you what, I absolutely love this light. It's pretty much everything you'd expect from Milwaukee. Really great build quality. The plastic is like a tool grade plastic, like you would expect, like a pack out container or some of their tools to be made from. It's just very thick, durable plastic. It's got nice rubber grip accents to it around the body. I also love the design. I love the pass-through handle. Makes it really easy to grip, whether you're barehanded or wearing some thick winter gloves or work gloves. You're not going to have any issues with getting a good solid grip on the light. You also have a few different light output modes. You don't have any variation in intensity, so there's no low, medium, high, or anything like that. But you do get a spot and flood mode, and then just a flood mode. And then you also get a specialty strobe mode, which flashes the spot and the flood. So the flood mode is going to be these 4 outer LEDs, and it just does exactly that. It's probably one of the most floodiest lights I've ever owned. It's just absolute wall of light in front of you. Illuminates everything. I've had it in my backyard where it'll illuminate a full 100 yards and just light up an entire tree line. In the flood spot mode, it has everything on. So obviously you get the flood and you also get the spot. You'll see when I do a little test later, but when you have it in this combo mode, it does seem like it derates the floodlights. The flood gets a little bit dimmer than it is on just standard flood mode, so keep that in mind. But it is a good all-round mode where you get tons and tons of throw as well as tons of flood. And then of course you have just spot mode, which is if you want to be doing some searching through a field or something like that, going real far distance, and you don't want to illuminate anything real close because you don't want to obscure your ability to see that beam at a far distance. That's what you're going to want to do. They claim that the light will last for about 6 hours using a red lithium XC 5 amp hour battery, which obviously the one I have on here is a 2, just because you really don't need a huge battery on there making it any heavier. These 2 amp hours are going to do just fine. I don't think you're going to have any difference in power output or light output going from a XC to a CP or vice versa. I haven't noticed any differences. I've tried it with everything up to an 8 amp hour. So they say with the 5 amp you get 6 hours of output. So I would imagine cut that in half for a CP. It weighs about 3 pounds total. I can't recall the lumen output, but I think it's upwards of about 2,000 lumens. And it has a beam throw of over 700 yards. And I know that number sounds just unbelievable, insane. But it's absolutely true. It'll go that distance, if not further. It is by far the best searchlight spotlight I've ever owned as far as being able to get out there and touch something. I've shown this thing all the way across fields and have been able to light up the tree line with that spot beam. It's also really good for doing searches in trees. So if you're gonna be facing a tree line, you can run that light all the way up and down a tree and illuminate a specific area with that tight spot beam. Alright, so now let's take a look at what it's capable of doing at night. Alright guys, so here's a quick look at the performance of this flashlight. So we'll cycle through the modes real quick. It's about 7 o'clock out here on the northeast, and the beginning of November, so it's barely starting to get light. But here is the flood mode. So that fence goes down, I'd say about 100 feet, maybe 120 feet. And you can just see how it just lights up the entire area. Out there, there's a fence and a barn about 200 feet away. We'll cycle now to spot. And you can see that spot is just, it penetrates everything. It is by far the best spot that I've seen on any light that I've ever owned. It's almost too concentrated because it's just so focused that you need to be on exactly what you want to see, otherwise you're going to miss it. So there you can see the horizon where it's starting to get a little bit light, but even then you can see how lit up the top of that tree is where the spot is. So we'll go down and follow it. And it goes through all those trees as far as you can see through the woods. We'll go up one of these evergreens. And again, you can just follow it all the way up the tree. It doesn't fade at all. And so that tree right there, it's about 200 yards. So now we'll go to the last mode, which is a combo spot and flood. I've noticed I don't think the spot beam is reduced at all on this mode, but the flood does appear to be underpowered just a drop in the spot and flood mode. So you'll see here, this is the spot and flood, and then we'll go to the flood, and you can see that the flood kind of ramps up after the spot gets turned off. Alright, so that's a quick overview / review of the Milwaukee M18 Searchlight. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you have any questions about the light, feel free to drop a comment below. You can pick these up anywhere you can get Milwaukee stuff. I got mine at Home Depot. I believe I paid 119 bucks. I think you can get them pretty regularly for about $99 as well. It's definitely an expensive light, but it's a light that you'll probably only ever have to buy once. And you know, depending on your use case for this light, it's absolutely worth it in my opinion. So like I said, drop a comment below if you have any questions or comments, and please like the video. We'll see you next time.